Hi, it's Sashi, and welcome to Spill the Tea. So today I'm going to talk about how we almost got scammed of over $15,000 here at Tea Drops, and what seemed very legitimate slowly unraveled to something that was a very elaborate scam. So this is to my small business owners to beware of the scam that is happening. So we were contacted through our wholesale email that a company in Barbados wanted to potentially order some product and use their freight forwarder to ship the product. This is not completely unusual. We actually just had another international order and kind of operating the same way. And so I, had our wholesale representative reach back out, inquire, send them our catalog and information. And then the gentleman turned back and gave us a purchase order that was close to $15,000. He wrote very eloquently. He expressed how he wanted certain flavors. He actually WhatsApped me. We had a conversation on the phone, and everything seemed legitimate because I wanted to verify if he was a real company. I also asked him to send us company documentation, in which he did. And he said, hey, we prefer to get invoiced via QuickBooks. Is that something you can do? And I thought that was a little strange, but I'm like, okay, if that's how you prefer to get the invoice, but we do requirement payment up front. And he said, that's fine, we'll ACH you. And then I can introduce you to our freight forwarder who will orchestrate the whole shipment. Last Friday, we sent the invoice. Over the weekend, I had this intuitive feeling like something doesn't really seem right about this order. On Monday, he then said, oh, this invoice looks great. Before we pay, we just want to know what the shipping and logistics costs are going to be so we know what our total costs are and our margins are when the shipment arrives. And so if you can you please contact our freight forwarder? This is the company information. This is the contact there. I looked at the URL of the freight company and everything seemed legitimate. It had a front-facing site, a contact form. It looked like it was based in Tampa. He said, hey, can you orchestrate the freight forwarding with them? And I will then pay you the money. And from the money I send you, you can pay them directly. And I was like, that's kind of weird. I've never been asked to pay for someone's freight forwarder. So then I started Googling, freight forwarder scams. A lot of things came up, but I did find a Reddit thread that talked about certain companies purchasing goods and purchasing a high volume of goods and ACHing via QuickBooks. And then once the freight forwarder is paid by the company, meaning the manufacturer, us in this case, then there's a reverse charge from the buyer, and QuickBooks usually favors the customer in this case and will renege and send all the money back. And so this is a very elaborate scam. I WhatsApped the gentleman a few more times saying, hey, can we choose our own freight forwarder? Can we, have you guys pay directly? All of these led to dead ends, and ultimately the order was not placed. So it leads me to believe that this is actually a pretty legitimate scam happening. And I just want to warn my other CPG founders, if you get any order that's from this company called Harvest Mart in Barbados, using Freight Motion LLC, it's a scam. Ultimately, this is the scam, which you would never know unless you had other people experience it, where you pay via QuickBooks, the ACH comes through and marked as paid, goes in your bank account. Then once you pay the freight forwarder, they take the money back. The world of entrepreneurship and running a small business, and another episode of Spill the Tea. So thanks for listening and listening to this crazy story this week. Bye.